Are you fed up of not having all the best attachments or weapons in Warzone? Do you want to know the fastest way to level up in Warzone? Well, I got you, buddy. What's up guys, it's Average All, making average content for the average viewer, and today I want to tell you guys about a strategy for how to level up fast in Warzone, because if you're running around at level 45, you might as well have a sign around your neck saying I've got a micro penis. Before we get on with it, let's see if we can hit 40 likes on this video, and if you're new here, it would be awesome if you'd subscribe. So let's talk about it. A few of you might remember a video I did a week ago or so where I explained a strategy for getting more wins in Warzone by using an extremely skillful tactic of picking up recon contracts and then patiently lying down on the floor and finding where the last circle is going to end, and then setting up a little campsite in the middle of the circle and lying in wait for everyone else to kill each other, and then you guys come in and clean up the scraps like a trio of SCAR and MP7 wielding rats. Well, today I want to build on this strategy so you can yield upwards of 80,000 XP per hour, as well as enough cash for you to be able to single-handedly pull the world out of the inevitable economic crash that we are heading for. So let's dive straight into it. Like the How to Get More Wins in Warzone guide, this one is going to start off pretty much the same. What you're going to want to do is look over the map whilst you're in the plane and find a location with at least one recon contract and a helicopter. Now, this will work better if you have a full trio of semi-competent players, but you can do this to varying degrees in solos too. To get the most efficiency out of this method, I would suggest that one of you lands on the contract whilst the other two go straight for the chopper and then go and pick up the third man. It will be very tempting to start looting straight away, but if you want to get this done as efficiently as possible, it's important to remember a couple of things. First of all, this method is going to give you more cash monies than my fiance gives me loud audible sighs when I tell her that I'm coming off of this game and continuing to play Warzone for another 4 hours. So you'll be able to buy your loadout quicker than you can say, sorry darling, but Warzone is life now. And second, the quicker that you can get as many of these contracts done, the better, as you will run into a lot less resistance because most people will still be looting up. Now on a quick side note, I would suggest that you guys have a very frank discussion beforehand with your trio about who is actually the best pilot of the group. A lot of people will proclaim to be some sort of maverick in these situations, but I would suggest that you treat them with extreme scrutiny and don't let your cousin, who obviously doesn't have any thumbs, to drive, or this might happen. Anyway, regardless of if you manage to keep the chopper or not, you can still continue with the original tactic even if you have to switch out to a jeep. Actually, to be honest, I found that when we are forced into using the jeep, I actually felt a lot safer because you were able to dodge other players a bit easier. Also, there is 100% less chance of being shot out of the sky. I mean, that's just simple science. Now, the reason that this is going to work for XP gain is that with every contract you complete, you get a percentage increase of your XP gain and cash yield, which goes up every single time. This is also seemingly endless in how much you can stack it, so the more you do, the more money and the more XP you will be getting. One thing to remember is to get your loadout as soon as possible. Make sure that when you complete these challenges, you have the gun in your hand that you are trying to level up, as for every time you complete a challenge, you will get a healthy chunk of weapon XP, but only for the weapon that is in your hand. Okay, so you should continue this little strategy until you have maxed out the amount of circles visible on the map. If you have done this fast enough, you should be able to know where the final circle is going to finish before the first lot of gas has even come in, which is obviously going to be a massive advantage. This is where the strategy is going to differ from the original easy win strat and will start to become the fastest way to level up in Warzone. So right now, you're going to have two options. Obviously, the way that it's going to get you the most XP overall is going to be for you to win the actual match. With that being said, it wouldn't be a very good tip video if I was just saying win the game, would it? That sort of goes without saying. So winning aside, you have two options from this point. If you aren't the most confident at seeking out direct conflict and action, you want to shift your focus from collecting the recon contracts to the scavenger contracts. Get someone who isn't driving to tag one on the map and make your way over. Obviously, the driver could tag this themselves, but being distracted whilst in a vehicle can cause the loss of life. And losing your life will actually limit your XP gain dramatically, and there's nothing worse than that. So, To do this next bit the most efficiently, you'll want to drop one player off at the actual contract start point and let them pick it up and run to the first box. Then drop the second guy off at the next box and finally go and pick up the last one yourself before heading back to pick your pals up. Just make sure that you are doing these in fairly quiet areas on the edge of the map, as if it's too hot you might run into some unwanted company and that could end your fun quicker than a poorly timed fart in the bedroom. Now if you are a super confident MLG level Call of Duty athlete and nothing gets you off like racking up sick kills and sending people to the gulag and ruining their day, then you might want to avert your attention to the bounty contracts, as these will both satisfy your overwhelming bloodlust and yield you a hell of a lot more XP and cash, especially when you consider the amount of bonus that you'll have racked up from the other contracts that you've been doing. Now what you have to do is rinse and repeat either the scavenger or the bounty contracts until it's either not safe to keep doing them or the circle comes in and it's time for the last hurrah. Like I said, the absolute best way to make sure that you get the most out of your time here will be to try and win. If you can do this while getting a few kills under your belt as well, then it's even better, but just remember that a win with 3 kills is going to yield you more XP than 10th with 10 kills. That being said, obviously it does depend on what your priorities are. If you are just trying to find the fastest way to level up in Warzone in general, then I would suggest going for placement rather than kills. However, if you're trying to level up your weapons, then obviously going for higher kill games is going to help you more in this area. One more quick thing, this weekend is going to be extremely useful for all you free-to-play players who are yet to try out the wonders and frustrations of regular multiplayer. This weekend there is a free-to-play weekend that will allow you guys to give the regular multiplayer a try. I would highly recommend that if you are trying to unlock some juicy attachments, you hop into a few multiplayer games and grind out for some weapons, as above all this is going to help you rack up some serious weapon XP faster than anything else, especially if you were able to find some shipment or shoot house matches and you were at least a semi-competent core Call of Duty player. So there we have it, my best tips for how to level up fast in Warzone, and I hope that I've achieved my goal of teaching you guys the fastest way to level up in Warzone. If you guys have anything to add to these tips, your opinions are always welcome down in the comments. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I like to ask a random and pointless question at the end to see who has made it this far. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.